Guys, in today's video, we're going to be watching a video from movie Flame. He's like, if you guys don't know who he is, he's like a YouTuber that talks about like films, like stories and stuff like that. And then today we are gonna be watching the entire story of Hermione Granger explained, plus Ron and Hermione's relationship. So if you guys don't know who Hermione is, she's she's a what was it again? She actually is a friend with Harry Potter, and if you guys don't know who Harry Potter is, it's like a big movie with like witches and wizards and stuff with like magic, and then Hermione is like is in Harry Potter, and then she was friends with no, she is friends with Harry and Ron, and then it just says so much, but it's like Harry Potter is a very good show. You guys already know she's from Harry Potter. He's friends with Harry. Yeah, and then today we're gonna be seeing this video to find out a little bit of the backstory from how Hermione got into Hogwarts and the backstory of everything. So if you guys are gonna enjoy this video, so please smash that like button and subscribe. Okay, let's start. Okay, so this is just a ad. So let me just yeah. So if you guys are wondering why I'm doing this, I already said it, but it's just because I just like to see the backstory of the characters, because I know this video is like 40 minutes, but I'm also gonna not watch every single one, because if I watch every single one, this is gonna be a long movie.
Much passion behind each.
Yeah. Okay, so let's start. Okay.
Hermione Granger is the character that J.K. Rowling identifies with the most.
But Hermione is an exaggeration of me. So Hermione really did come from a very deep place inside me.
Even Hermione's Patronus, an otter, is Rowling's favorite animal. Rowling put so much passion behind each and every character in the Harry Potter series, but I think that she put the most behind Hermione, simply because it was her way of putting herself into this incredible world that she had created.
Well, Hermione, you really are the brightest witch of your age I've ever met.
Hermione is one of my personal favorite characters, and many
I like how she's like smart and knows like a lot of stuff, because if you guys watch it, let me not spoil it, but in one of the movies she probably teleported. So it's gonna be very
as I have
fun.
had more requests to make a video about her than any other character. Now, because Hermione is one of the three main characters, there's a lot to go over. So I guess you could kind of consider this to be a video about the trio, as well as Ron and Hermione's relationship. So sit back, relax, and enjoy as I explain the life of Hermione Granger.
Yeah, the life of Hermione Granger. I'm ready to watch this entire thing.
Hermione was born to Mr. and Mrs. Granger. Both of her parents were muggles, and both were dentists. The two picked the unusual name Hermione, partly to prove how smart and clever they were, the name deriving from Shakespeare, but also because they knew that their daughter was going to be unique and special, and they wanted a name that would reflect that. The family often took trips to the Forest of Dean, where they went camping. They also went to Shaftesbury Avenue, where they would go to the...
Okay, I'm just gonna skip to this part where she gets like invited by McGonagall.
She attended Muggle school for many years and was a very bright student. One day, a Hogwarts staff member, most likely Professor McGonagall, visited Hermione and her family at their house and explained that Hermione was a witch selected by the Quill of Acceptance and the Book of Admittance, two objects that write down a person's name as soon as they show their first signs of magic.
Okay.
Both the book and the quill have to agree that they have enough magic in them to become a fully fledged witch or wizard. When the weird things that Hermione would make happen occurred, she was using magic, and the book and quill realized that she was capable of becoming a witch. Most students just got a letter sent to them asking them to come to Hogwarts, but because Hermione was a Muggle-born and neither she nor her parents knew about the wizarding world, she had someone explain it to her in person. When Professor McGonagall, who was most likely the one that visited her, showed up at her house, she told him all about the wizarding world, Hogwarts, and explained Hermione's powers. McGonagall told her family how to get to Diagon Alley and the wizarding world. She learned all of the spellbook books by heart and even managed to perform a few simple spells.
And if you don't want to, and if you guys don't want to watch this whole entire movie, it's completely fine. But I assure you, this is gonna be a very good video to watch, because if you guys want to learn more about Hermione's past in the Harry Potter series, and yeah, and stuff. So you can watch this video, or you can go and watch the video in from movie Flame, the entire life of Hermione Granger explained. Yeah, but I think I'm gonna make it two-parter. This is gonna be like the first part one. Yeah, and then the second part is gonna be like, I think it's gonna be like later today. I'm gonna be filming it, so make sure to stay to that. So I'm just gonna be
that is
doing
very
this.
unheard of, as most need instruction and a lot of time to be able to channel their magic. From a young age, it was clear that Hermione was a very powerful witch. On the train ride to Hogwarts, she met Neville Longbottom, who asked her to help him find his toad. While she was looking, she met Ron and Harry. When it was time to be sorted, the Sorting Hat seriously considered putting her in Ravenclaw, the house known to have the most intelligent students. But the Hat thought that her bravery, a trait the Gryffindors had, was more significant than her intelligence. Hermione was a very gifted student and always outshined her classmates.
Oh, well done! See here, everyone. Miss Granger's done it.
She did, however, struggle with her flying lessons, unable to make her broom come to her hand as it was supposed to, but merely roll over on the ground. Hermione strictly followed the rules. When she overheard Ron and Harry talking about sneaking out to duel Malfoy, she stepped in. You mustn't go wandering around the school at night. Think of the points you'll lose for Gryffindor if you're caught. Hermione almost told Ron's brother Percy, who was a prefect on them, but she decided to confront them before they left. She followed them out of the portrait hole, which closed behind them, forcing her to go with them. It turned out to be a setup by Malfoy, and they ran to the forbidden corridor, where they came face to face with Fluffy, a three-headed dog.
Yeah, Fluffy was. I watched the movie, and if you guys don't know, Fluffy was like a very big dog, as you guys can see. Like, it was crazy. If you guys want to go and watch it, I think you are rewarded.
Hermione was the only one that realized that the dog was guarding a trap door.
It was standing on a trap door, which means it wasn't there by accident. It's guarding something.
One day, Hermione overheard Ron making fun of her.
She's a nightmare, honestly. No wonder she hasn't got any friends.
She bumped into Harry and went into the bathroom, where she cried all day. She told
Well, actually, I think it was kind of mean, because she just did what Guardium Leviosa, and then it was actually so mean of Ron to like do the like she say that she's a nightmare. She isn't a nightmare. She's just very smart.
Body that she wanted to be left alone, and she didn't go to the Halloween feast. During the feast, a troll was led into the school, and Ron and Harry realized that Hermione didn't know about it and that she was in danger. They went to find her, and the three ended up facing the troll and knocking it out.
Yeah, that is actually a very big troll. Like, what is that?
Which alerted the professors where they were. When the professors arrived, Hermione did something that neither Ron nor Harry saw coming. She told a lie to a teacher.
It's my fault, Professor McGonagall. I went looking for the troll. If Harry and Ron hadn't come and found me, I'd probably be dead.
Hermione, taking the blame for them, changed her relationship with Ron and Harry. From that moment on, Hermione Granger became their friend. Hermione was a great friend to the two of them. She helped them with their homework, although she never let them copy, and was always there for them. One day, Hermione thought that Snape was jinxing Harry's broom during a Quidditch match, so she snuck behind him and caught his robes on fire, which ended up freeing Harry from the jinx, as it distracted Professor Quirrell, who was really the one jinxing the broom. The trio eventually became very interested in what the three-headed dog Fluffy was guarding. When Hagrid let slip that Nicholas Flamel had something to do with it, the three researched tirelessly, trying to find out
Nicholas
what was
Flamel is the
Hermione
person that made
remembered a book
something.
that she had checked out weeks before.
I checked this out weeks ago, forbidden light reading.
This is light.
In the book, she discovered that the thing Fluffy was guarding was the Philosopher's Stone. Later that year, Hagrid got a dragon, and it became more than he could handle. They devised a plan where Hermione and Harry would take the dragon to the top tower of the castle and give it to Charlie Weasley's friends who worked with dragons.
Well, actually, in the show, this didn't happen. That Hermione actually went to give Ron's brother Charlie the dragon. Yeah. it happened in the book, but it didn't happen in the film. Yeah.
And getting the dragon out, but they were caught out of bed at night and lost their house 50 points each. They became some of the most hated people in the school after that. No one would speak to Hermione, and she stopped drawing attention to herself in class. Getting caught also led to them getting detention in the Forbidden Forest with Hagrid. When the trio realized that the Philosopher's Stone was in danger from Voldemort, they decided to tail the man that they thought was after it, Professor Snape. They decided that Hermione was the one that should keep watch on them. The reasoning being that if she got caught, she could just pretend to be worried about her final exam with Professor Flitwick. When Snape came out and asked her what she was doing, she told him that she was waiting for Professor Flitwick. Snape went in to get Flitwick, and Hermione lost sight of him. Hearing that Snape got away, Harry said that he was going down the trap door, and Hermione and Ron refused to let him go alone. When Harry said that they would be expelled if they were caught, Hermione said, "Not if I can help it. Flitwick told me in secret that I got 112% on his exam. They're not throwing me out after that." She then went to read her books before they went, in case there was something useful in them that they could use. As they were leaving, they were stopped by Neville Longbottom in the common room, who Hermione was forced to cast a spell on. When they went down the trap door, they landed on Devil's Snare, a plant that wrapped itself around them. Hermione remembered that to stop them, she had to start.
Actually, that is actually kind of it's like I forgot, but let's just watch it again now.
Yes, of course. But there's no wood. Have you gone mad? Are you a witch or not? Oh, right. She waved her wand and freed them all. They went through a few more obstacles to get to the stone, one of which knocked Ron out. Harry and Hermione continued and got to a potions obstacle. Hermione realized that it wasn't magic that you needed to get past this, but logic, which made her smile. There were 7 bottles. One would get you through to the next obstacle, and one would let you go back the opposite way. There was only enough for one person to go on to the next obstacle. Harry told Hermione to go back while he went on. As they were saying goodbye, Hermione's lip trembled and she hugged Harry. Then she said,
You're a great wizard.
While Harry went on, Hermione went back to get Ron and used a broomstick from another obstacle to escape out the trap door. She then sent Dumbledore a letter telling him what was going on. This helped Gryffindor win the House Cup, something that they had not done in years. Hermione finished the school year with the best grades of all of the first years. When they arrived back at King's Cross, Hermione was shocked at how awful Harry's aunt and uncle were. That summer, when Hermione and Ron both sent letters to Harry, and neither got responses thanks to Dobby intercepting his mail, they got worried. Ron told Hermione that he was going to rescue Harry from the Dursleys, and she told him to be careful and not to break any laws. Hermione went to Diagon Alley the same day that Ron and Harry were going with the rest of the Weasleys. She was accompanied by her parents. Her parents exchanged Muggle money for wizarding money at Gringotts. Hermione and her parents met Ron, Harry, and the Weasleys at Flourish and Blotts, where Gilderoy Lockhart was signing autographs. Hermione was very excited to meet him, as he had written a number of books on the book list for school, and also because he was very handsome. Mr. Weasley was talking avidly to Hermione's parents before Lucius Malfoy came in. He looked over at the Grangers and said to Arthur, "The company you keep, Weasley. And I thought your family could sink no lower." When Hermione got on the Hogwarts Express, she was very confused where Ron and Harry were, as they had never boarded. When she found out that they had taken a flying car to school, she was very disappointed.
Yeah, man. Yeah, if you guys didn't watch the show, they had to take like a flying car because like that because that like Barry, they couldn't go to the Hogwarts Express. The barrier was like sealed, and then Ron had the idea to get inside of his that car, and then when they got to Hogwarts, he actually break it.
When
Which
the
is
Gryffindor and
no, I mean, actually he break the windows and stuff.
Had
Yeah.
an altercation. Hermione and Ron came over to see what was going on. When Hermione said that Malfoy had bought his way to become a member of the team, he called her a mudblood.
No one asked your opinion, you filthy little mother.
Hermione didn't
But she
know
got her revenge in the third
based on the
movie.
reaction of everyone
Okay,
around
yeah.
him. Ron pulled out his wand in defense of Hermione and shot a spell at Malfoy, but it shot back at himself due to his wand being broken. Ron and Hagrid explained to Hermione what mudblood meant and how it was the most offensive thing you could call Muggleborn. When Hermione went to her first Defense Against the Dark Arts class with Gilderoy Lockhart, she got a perfect score on a quiz that was all about himself.
Hardly any of you remember that my favorite color is lilac. But Miss Hermione Granger knew that my secret ambition is to rid the world of evil and market my own range of hair care potions.
It was clear that she had a big crush on him, just like every other girl.
I think Movie Flame went too far about that because if you guys don't know, so Hermione is like 12 And then, how old is Lockhart? Probably 30,
Harry,
40.
Halloween.
Like,
Hermione,
oh,
along with Ron and Harry,
well, actually, they don't probably mean like dating stuff. They probably like
went to nearly Headless
artists
Nick's
and
death
stuff.
day party,
Yeah,
where a
maybe.
bunch of ghosts celebrated the day he died. He had the trio talk him up in order to get invited to the Headless Hunt. That year, the Chamber of Secrets had been opened.
Yeah, this was one of the scariest thing in the movie because because it's like the Chamber of Secrets was a very scary
After
thing.
the first attack, Hermione asked
Yeah.
Professor Binns about the Chamber of Secrets during their History of Magic class. He told them the story about how Salazar Slytherin had made a secret...
Well, actually, it's not very scary now, but it was scary that like Harry heard like the voices, and then it was like a basilisk, and then it was like kind of scary, but it's not. But for me, it's not that scary, but for some people, they think it's scary.
and
Okay,
it
finish.
housed a monster. The trio was convinced that Malfoy was the culprit opening the chamber. To find out, they made Polyjuice Potion, a task that even challenged Hermione.
I've never seen a more complicated potion.
Hermione had accidentally put a cat hair in the potion instead of a human hair, and she was forced to stay in the hospital wing for several weeks. Harry and Ron visited her every evening and brought her the homework for the day, something that they both admitted that they would not do had they been in her situation. Later that year, Hermione figured out what the monster in the chamber was. She knew it was a basilisk, and that it was traveling through the pipes. She went to the library, tore out a page from the book, and wrote pipes on it. She used a mirror when she was rounding thanks to Professor Sprout's mandrakes. Hermione ran to Harry and Ron screaming, "You solved it! You solved it!" Hermione, Harry, and the Weasleys got a compartment together for the train ride home and made the most of their last few hours of using magic. That summer, Hermione went to France with her parents. She enjoyed it and said that she had learned a lot. For Harry's birthday, she got him a broomstick servicing kit, something that he loved. The day before they left for Hogwarts, Hermione's parents dropped her off at the Leaky Cauldron with all of her school stuff so that she could spend the night there and go with Harry and the Weasleys the next morning. After they dropped her off, she and Ron went into Diagon Alley where they met Harry. Hermione's parents had given her money to buy an early birthday present, and she decided to buy a cat named Crookshanks. Minutes before she bought it, it had jumped on Ron while he was holding his rat Scabbers. When she came out with it, Ron said, "You bought that monster?" Third years were allowed to pick more new subjects, and Hermione picked more than anyone.
Oh, that was actually, that was actually the cat that went up of it, and him was like, it's actually not that scary, but it was like, it's not that scary, yes. Okay, but I think we're gonna be watching like 1 or 2 minutes and then maybe, yeah.
That they weren't able to fit into a normal schedule. When they arrived at Hogwarts, Professor McGonagall had Hermione come to her office during the sorting. There she gave her a time turner so that she would be able to go back in time and be able to take all of the courses that she had signed up for. McGonagall made her promise that she wouldn't tell anyone about it, including Harry and Ron, which made them very confused at times.
Hang on, that's not possible. Ancient runes is on the same time as divination. You have to be in 2 classes at once.
During divination, Hermione was startled when Professor Trelawney said that books wouldn't help her in this class. She then said to Hermione that she didn't have the right aura. She immediately disliked both Trelawney and the subject. If being good at divination means I have to pretend to see death omens in a lump of tea leaves, I'm not sure I'll be studying it much longer. That lesson was absolute rubbish. In their first Care of Magical Creatures lesson...
Yeah, and then he got like slapped by that bird. Buckley.
When
No,
Harry
Buckley,
anonymously
isn't it?
got a firebolt broomstick, Hermione got worried that it was from Sirius Black, who everyone believed to be after Harry. She told Professor McGonagall about it, who, to the fury of Harry and Ron, confiscated the broom to examine it. Ron and Harry were very upset with Hermione for this. Later on, Ron accused Crookshanks of eating his rat Scabbers. These two things turned Harry and Ron against Hermione, and they didn't talk for a while. Because of this, Hermione committed herself to helping Hagrid in his defense of Buckbeak so that he wouldn't be sentenced to death for hurting Malfoy. She spent hours researching for him. Hagrid told Ron and Harry that putting a broomstick over Hermione was stupid, especially considering the fact that they had gotten it back. The three became friends again when they all apologized to one another. Ron and Harry then started helping to do research for Buckbeak as well. However, they ended up losing the case because Lucius Malfoy threatened all of the committee members into siding with him. When Malfoy started making fun of Hagrid for crying about Buckbeak, all three of the trio made a furious move toward Malfoy.
Oh yeah, this is where she got her revenge. Okay, sorry for screaming, but this is one of my favorite scenes in the third movie because I like this because this scene is so she got her revenge. She kicked some ass. See, let's go. Come on, Hermione.
and smacked him across the face with all of her.
Yeah, he deserved that.
Took out her wand.
He's a little.
Don't you dare call Hagrid pathetic.
Yeah. Don't you dare call Hagrid, you fool, you evil. Yeah, he's evil. He's super evil.
Ow, you evil.
Hermione, no! He's not worth it.
Malfoy then ran off, very disoriented. When Snape took over as Defense Against the Dark Arts professor.
Yeah, so I think that's it for today. Yeah, I think it's enough for today. So if you guys did enjoy this video, so please like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Show. Peace. Again.